Good morning, everybody. Today I wanted to go over two different metrics that a lot of times people will use when looking at investment property. Okay, so not just the price per unit, price per square foot, but the actual portion of it of how good of a return it's going to be. So I'm not talking capitalization rate. I'm actually talking about both ROI and cash on cash. Okay, cash on cash is sometimes abbreviated COI. No, it's not. COC. Okay, COC for cash on cash, ROI, return on investment. Okay, they are different. Sometimes they're used interchangeably, and I just want to quickly go over the differences here for you. Okay, so ROI, again, that's your return on investment. That is actually going to be your total return. Okay, so over the life of owning the property. So not it's hard to get an ROI of this month or even this year. You can get an annualized return, but the key thing with a full ROI, because it's the total return encompassing all the ways that you actually do make money on the rental property. Sometimes I think you could probably even throw in tax benefits here. I've never done that myself, but essentially you do have to calculate an exit. Okay, so either a refinance or probably more likely a sale. Okay, so even if you don't want to sell, if you were to sell, what would the price that you would get for that? You need to have that to calculate your full ROI. Okay, so as far as structuring a deal. Okay, so taking a look at that here, so it's your total return on the money that you put into the deal. Okay, so essentially, if you only put 25% down, then that's really nice versus putting 100% down or 0% down. And we're going to go over how that affects it too. So we're just going to do a quick example here. So let's say there's a property. I'm not even going to say the the percent down or the purchase price, okay? Because I'm not even going to factor that into here. Let's just say we put $25,000 into the deal, okay? And then after 2 years, it has cash flowed $2,400 a month. Those of you guys that actually own rental property on here and aren't just thinking about it, you know that it's not the same dollar amount of cash flow every single month. Okay, there's vacancy 1 month and then not the rest of the year. There is maintenance, heavy maintenance 1 month, and then 3 months without any maintenance. So it does actually go like this. So as far as averaging it, let's just say in this example, $2,400 over a 2-year period. So that's $100 a month. A lot of you guys are looking for investments around that number, I think. Appreciation. So let's say that however much the property was, that when you can sell it, we're going to say 2 years later, just for easy math here. So 2 years later, it has appreciated $3,600. Okay, so that's going to be the price higher than lower. And I'm not going to say any of the buying and selling commissions or the cost of sale or the taxes, because throwing too many factors in there can actually negate the point a little bit. Okay, so appreciating, say it went up $3,600 in value, and then let's say that over that period of time of 24 months, you paid down the debt, the mortgage debt, about $1,000. Okay, so about $500 a year. So not crazy amounts. So that total, $2,400, $3,600, and $1,000 is $7,000. Now what you would do is you're going to take that total return of $7,000 divided by, because it's return on investment, well, you invested $25,000 in this example. So $7,000 divided by $25,000 is 28%. Okay, be like 0.28. All right, so 28%. Now that's over a 2-year period. Okay, because remember, we're gonna say like, you had some appreciation, and then also we had a sale because we were able to capture that depreciation essentially. All right, so that 28% return on investment, that's over the whole term of owning it. Usually you want to look at that on a per year chunk. So you would divide by how many years, so that's 14% because we're set it over 2 years. So that's a 14% annualized ROI. Okay, a 14% annualized return is, I think, pretty decent. Now, different things that you can actually change your ROI on the same deal, perhaps, is let's say that instead of putting $25,000, Well, if you put the full amount of the loan, let's say it was 4 times that, well, you can imagine then 7 divided by a much larger number is going to be a much smaller return, okay? So your return on investment when you don't leverage, that's kind of why a lot of real estate, to maximize your return on investment, your ROI, you actually take on more debt. So the more leveraged you are, the more at risk you are, you could say, if you view it that way, then the higher your returns. And that makes sense. The more risk you take, the more return you should get, right? Okay. So let's just say you put less down. Okay. So if you put $7,000 down instead of $25,000, well, the reason I use that is, look, $7,000 down, and you're getting $7,000 return. Okay, that is a 100% return on your investment in 2 years. So you would divide that by the amount of years. So it'll be 15% annualized return. Raise your hand, wave if you would, comment below if you would like to get a 15% regular return on investment. How awesome would that be on a regular basis? Okay, we all would, right? Divide that by 2 again, 3,500. If you put 3,500 down and then you got 7,000 return in a 2-year period, okay, that's 200% ROI. You divide that, and so you essentially 100% annualized return. That is phenomenal. It is possible to actually get over 100% return on your investment annually. That would mean you probably have very little equity in the deal, very little cash that you put down. And so let's say you got it for 0 down. Back in the day, Carlton Sheets, a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about, I think. So Carlton Sheets always talked about no money down. Well, if you put like $100 down or nothing down, then what would your return be? I mean, potentially infinity. If you have nothing in the deal and you're getting money, then your return is, they might call that infinite. So that's the return on investment. It does vary based not only on the deal, but all these factors, and that you would take into consideration, and the actual amount that you put down. Not just the percentage, but the actual dollar amount. Okay? The second one, sorry for the slightly longer video, is cash on cash. Again, that would be COC abbreviated. So cash return on cash on the deal. So keep in mind, appreciation and debt pay down, that's not money in an envelope to you that you can put in your pocket and go pay groceries with until the very end of the deal when you have a liquidation type of event. So cash on cash, that's the actual monthly cash flow that you get to see. I mean, it might be quarterly or annually or whatever. But so in this example, the $2,400, okay, well, if we put the $25,000 cash in the deal, and then we're getting over a 2-year period $2,400 cash, so again $100 a month over a 2-year period, then that would be a 9.6 total cash on cash, but again we want that on a yearly basis, so you divide by the 2 years, so that's a 4.5% cash on cash return. Now that's not amazing, but honestly I do want to point out the fact here that ROI can be, double digits all day long. Cash on cash return, usually, especially if you're using traditional financing, like going through a bank where you have to put 20 to 25%, it would be probably, it would be amazing to see you have double digit cash on cash returns on that. Because usually, in that case, it's a cash cow, essentially. So I would say people usually look for right around that 5+% for cash on cash, and and then hopefully double digit ROI for the total ROI. So thumbs up, like this if it was at all helpful. Let me know what else you guys would like to see and talk about. I am super passionate about this stuff, and I would love to interact with you guys. So you have a good one.